Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. In the event that Raila Odinga ultimately takes the oath of office as the 5th President of the Republic of Kenya, when the whole world will be watching, then definitely we will confirm with utmost certainty that there is a truth behind the maxim, perseverance separates the winners from the losers. I want to leave it at that because we can talk more about it when we cross the bridge. So for today, I want us to look at the formidable force that Raila Odinga has put in place to drive his 5th stab at the presidency. As a matter of fact, by end of yesterday, he had put in order a fully compacted trigonal force that will ensure that his mission is fulfilled in the August 9th general elections. This trigonal force is made up of 3 serious units. The first unit is the advisory unit, and the second unit is the campaign board, and then the third unit is the secretariat. In other words, Raila Odinga is so serious with his 2022 presidential bid that he is appearing to be running the political campaigns in 2022 like somebody who is running an organization, because we know very well that it is the organization where we have 3 levels of management. The top, which is the strategic and strategic management level, and the middle, which is the administrative, actually the executive level of management, or the mid level of management, and then definitely the lower level of management, which is also known as the supervisory or the operative level of management. So this man is giving it his all. And if we were to talk of the last bullet of Raila Odinga, then I tell you without any doubt that this is the last bullet of Raila Odinga. And this formidable force that he has organized into place is the force that is going to fire this bullet to the target. And it's only a matter of time to see if the bullet will definitely, strictly, directly hit the target, like in the game of the bullseye. Will it hit the bullseye? That is the question. You know, I want us to focus on the advisory council, because by yesterday is when we got to know the full category of people who are going to be in the advisory council. I was having a conversation with a friend before I did this analysis, and he was trying to tell me that it is like Raila Odinga is going back to 2007. And you remember 2007 is when Raila Odinga was at his best in terms of his political energy. We had the Pentagon team. The Pentagon team brought on board William Samoei Ruto. Then we also have Musalia Mudavadi. We also have Najib Balala. We also have the late Joe Nyaga and Raila Odinga himself. So the Pentagon. But Raila Odinga has now changed the face of what he used in 2007. Pentagon was formed with a look of political heavyweights. But now, in this 2022, he has formed an advisory council, which is actually bringing on board professionals and technocrats. And it is so serious. And he has left out the political heavyweights in the campaign board. And actually, we also have the secretariat. You remember the appointment of Elizabeth Mayo. Elizabeth Mayo is the CEO of the secretariat of Raila Odinga. And when you come to the campaign board, that is where we have the governors running the campaigns of Raila Odinga. For example, we have Neriti Mureithi of Laikipia County, and then the campaign board we also have Governor Wycliffe Oparanya. We also have Ali Hassan Joho, and we also have Charity Ngilu, and also we also have Francis Ole Kaparo. And then when you come to the secretariat, that is where we have Elizabeth Mayo as the CEO, and then we have the media mogul, that is the Royal Media Services Chair SK Masharia, who is a long-term friend of Raila Odinga. And we also have Dennis Onsarigo, who is the press secretary. So that is the entire hierarchy of this formidable force that Raila Odinga has formed for his 2022 presidential bid. So I want us to look at the advisory council, and the advisory council is so unique and it has people to be reckoned with, and that is what I want us to look at in the next few minutes, so that we get to know the political significance that it has, because on this channel we do political analysis and insights that we can derive from these developments that we see in the political arena. So ladies and gentlemen, if you are coming to the channel for the first time, please take a second and subscribe and hit that notification bell. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for those who have subscribed, and we are growing so much. And I want to give a special shout out to you all who have come on board so that we grow together. And you can give this video a thumbs up, and if you are able to do so, then leave me a comment. I would be very, very much grateful. So let me come back to this. So the advisory council is the strategic management of this Raila Odinga's formidable force that will spear his agenda in 2022. And the advisory council consists of professionals and technocrats. You know, Raila Odinga is tending to be operating in a cross-sectional manner. For example, he's not only considering the politicians to drive his agenda at the end of the day. So the first person who is so key in this advisory council is Professor Makau Mutua. So Professor Makau Mutua is going to be the chair of the advisory council. And you remember, we all know this a story of Professor Makau Mutua and all his credentials outside there. He's a distinguished professor who is currently lecturing in the University of Buffalo within the School of Law. So he has been with Raila Odinga ever since, and he has been a friend to Raila Odinga in terms of legal matters. You remember the recent issue that came out when Kalonzo Musyoka remembered the deal of 2017 between him and Raila Odinga. It was Professor Makau Mutua who was a witness, a lawyer at that time. Of course, we also had Kibutha Kibwana. And remember, Professor Makau Mutua was also appointed as the spokesperson for Raila Odinga's campaign in 2022. So everything that is going to come and be given to the public, it is Professor Makau Mutua who must officiate it thoroughly and then allow it to be given to the public. Of course, when he gives an information about what is in Raila Odinga's camp, then that mandate is definitely with him. So his distinction in this case is bringing a lot of legal prowess, a lot of structured mechanism where anything to do with the law about Raila Odinga's campaigns, about Raila Odinga's deals, about Raila Odinga's partnership with the like-minded parties are communicated well in line with the law, so that we do not go overboard with the law. We do not cross the boundaries of the law. We do not have instances of contract breaches. And right now, because Raila Odinga is intending to be accepted in a cross-sectional manner, he must make sure that every deal he makes, and even the people who are coming on board to join him, must make sure that the deals are legally binding, legally enforceable, and are acceptable in a cross-sectional manner. And then we have the second woman to be reckoned with in the advisory council, who is Dr. Sally Kosgei. You know, this is a woman who has had political prowess in Kenya. And just recently, I was listening to when they were holding a convention on women and power, women and politics. I think they were kind of doing a transition in a given setting of women leadership in some factions that they have as women politicians who have stood the test of time and have proved their worth in politics. So Dr. Sally Kosgei is an instrumental leader that Raila Odinga thought wise to include in the advisory council, because if you look at the history of Dr. Sally Kosgei, she has stood the test of time in the political success. And if you hear the reviews and the history that people are giving on Dr. Sally Kosgei, then it tells you that this role suits her so much well. I was listening to how women are giving her credit on how she has actually managed to mentor them and how she has stood with them and told them that no matter what, when you have a vision in politics, you must stick to it. And this is how to maneuver your ways. And this is how to go about it in a professional manner and in a manner that does not jeopardize your integrity. So women all over are giving outstanding credits to Dr. Sally Kosgei. So this is a very big move that Raila Amolo Odinga is considering, especially for the women. She represents the face of women in politics. She represents the face of women in leadership. And she is also a reformer. You remember, she was very instrumental way back in the Moi regime, came on board in the Kibaki regime, actually worked with Raila Amolo Odinga in the Grand Coalition government with Kibaki. So this lady is a virtuous lady that is going to be so much instrumental in Raila Amolo Odinga's advisory council. And then we also have Paul Mwangi. You know, Paul Mwangi is a very renowned lawyer, and who was actually in the BBI team. Well, he has been a friend to Raila Amolo Odinga also for a very long time, and he is coming on board to act as the legal advisor of Raila Amolo Odinga. And so it tells you definitely that, you know, Raila Amolo Odinga is not leaving anything to chance. He's bringing on people who can reason from whatever has happened, who can reason on the legal matters, and who can reason on the best future and the direction that he should take as a presidential candidate. And so when he brings on Paul Mwangi, who actually had vast knowledge in whatever was in BBI, whatever needed to be realigned so that we can have proper governance, then definitely he is going to play a bigger part in maybe forming what Raila needs to have in place for him to deliver the best information, actually the best package of information to the people, and even in his political agenda. And then we also have Professor Peter Wanyande. So Professor Peter Wanyande, when I was looking at his history, you know, he's a renowned lecturer at the University of Nairobi. So Raila Amolo Odinga is focusing on professionals at this level of advisory council. These people are at the apex of decision-making criteria for Raila Amolo Odinga. And so he's bringing people who know what is happening on the ground and who have actually interacted more with the governance. He is bringing a lot of knowledge on the table of the advisory council, and to give the best shot for Raila Amolo Odinga and what to bank on for his success. Then we also have Karuti Kanyinga, who is an astute researcher with a wider international recognition, who is now coming on board to facilitate Raila Amolo Odinga's research and development. And as you all know, you know, in the current dispensation, in the century that we are in, you know, be it an organization that somebody is running, be it a business, or be it anything that you have ambition with, then definitely you must have research and development team. Without research and development, you cannot meet your intended objective, because it is the research and development that will inform what you should operate in and the changes that you need to take into account so that you go and meet the exact needs of the people, you go and meet exactly what the people want, and then you be in line with the current development. So Karuti Kanyinga is a renowned researcher and somebody who has international networks. So he's also bringing in a new aspect of Raila Amolo Odinga to be exposed in terms of the research, in terms of the international connection, and to bring in the full realization of what is happening. So this is the time that Raila Amolo Odinga needs to know exactly what is on the ground and what is changing, the contemporary situation on the ground, and then the move that they need to take going forward. And then lastly, John Githongo. You know, when we talk about John Githongo, this is a very powerful man. And you remember way back when President Kibaki came into office in 2002 with Akina Raila Amolo Odinga, you know, John Githongo is the one who helped Kibaki to deal with the runaway corruption by that time, immediately after transition. And so John Githongo is a renowned reformist in the realm of dealing with corruption. And I remember In the NDC of Cyrus Jirongo, Kalonzo Musyoka mentioned a conversation that he had with John Githongo. And so it tells you definitely that Kalonzo Musyoka and Raila Odinga might have been reasoning on the same page. And if it is a matter of Raila Odinga coming to join hands with Kalonzo Musyoka, and by that time, Kalonzo Musyoka hinted to the people how he talked with John Githongo and how John Githongo told him what to do to end the corrupt dealings in the government. John Githongo might have been brought on board by Kalonzo Musyoka, and that this we can wait to see what will come ahead. With this caliber of people, it will make Raila Odinga to form the message that resonates well with the people, and then at the end of the day, it will also help Raila Odinga to fine-tune his message and fine-tune his agenda to meet the exact needs of the people. Then another role of this advisory council is to be at the front line in bringing in the manifesto for Raila Odinga. And actually this is the main one, because if you look at everything that is set in place, everything that he has put in place, this is an organization, and the manifesto that Raila Odinga will come with will be such a huge one. There's this analogy that I always like using. Raila Odinga has crossed the Rubicon River, and you remember a phrase we always use when a decision has fully been made, that once Rubicon River has been crossed, then there is no turning back. So Raila Odinga has crossed the Rubicon River, and there is no turning back, and the game has just begun. And actually yesterday, he made a very interesting recollection, especially on how he relates with the Deputy President. He said that Ruto is a lightweight in politics, and that Ruto is his student in politics. And so he was saying that come August 9th, he's going to show William Samoei Ruto what a teacher shows the student. And so this battle of 9th August between Raila Odinga and William Samoei Ruto is going to be a battle between the student and the teacher. It has just started, and more are yet to come. Who is going to emerge victorious? Is it the teacher or is it the student? Let's wait and see. Let's meet in the next video, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you so very much.